the big occasion. Yeah, and I think working it out, I'm going to be very interested to see as we look at the win predictor here, which is understandably predicting a Team Europe win here for Berettini. How often Felix uses his backhand down the line. If he goes with his usual almost 70%, that may be a problem for him.
Play.
We've seen the big improvements from Alliassime's this season, particularly as far as the majors are concerned. Key aspects of his game that he's improved most in would be
ball toss. I mean, I know it seems, you know, to some people, well, wow, that can't just be it, but the ability to throw the ball for his serve into the same spot time and time again has unquestionably been a huge factor for him. And it's going to be tested out here as well. One of those things I'm interested in watching Berettini. Where does he return from at the start of this match? I said right at the start in the warm-up, you know that a guy like Felix comes in with a 105, 110 second serve average. That's very quick. You know, are you going to stand up in the court as Berettini was, or should you early on maybe take a step back, try and give yourself a little bit more sort of time off this second serve to try and make as many returns as you can?
Let first service.
Personally, I think he should stand back a little bit early on and get as many back in, test this man's nerve.
Thirty 15. Let's first service. Let's first service.
It's already at 30 all. To classify this as a half chance. Nicely done.
That's the right place to serve as well against Berettini. Gets a lot of cover on his forehand, and by cover I mean over the top of the ball.
14,
gets a lot of
30.
spin. He's got one of the biggest forehands on the men's tour when he has time on it, but on the return, a bit of like David Ferrer, who Federer used to enjoy playing, he will serve his forehand all day long to get that shorter reply. The backhand is flat, it's low, it's longer through the court. You can see there, it doesn't sit up as high, particularly in these cooler conditions right now. I'm surprised Johnny Mack hasn't been out with the guy at the back there, the engineer, with the thermometer going, hey, listen, I want another 10 degrees in here. Get that rubber hot.
Minimum.
Advantage
It's where
Team
you're a little
World.
edgy. If you're in McEnroe's shoes, seeing Berettini line up for those kind of forehands from there, he can slide it inside out pretty swiftly as well as pull it inside in, and you kind of feel as though your sort of player is very much second fiddle in that situation. Got away with it that time, did Auger-Aliassime.
Game Team World.
Good serve.
Yeah, it's a good serve. And
First game.
hopefully we're going to be able to just give you a little look at one of the big sort of changes from Auger-Aliassime that we were touching on. Look at this. This is from 2019. Miami, he made the semi-finals here. He actually lost to John Isner. Actually said a lot of double faults serving for the sets in sets 1 and 2. Look at that, 37 inches on the left it was, and it was 28, I think, on the right. And you can see there it's come down, what, 17 inches in terms of the narrowness of that ball toss on the ad side alone. I mean, those are big, big numbers for a tennis player. And credit to him.
Berettini for
It's
Team
not
Europe
the
to
easiest
serve.
thing to change a ball toss as well. It's one of those things that people can give you techniques for, tips and everything else, but it takes a lot of time, and not everybody is able to actually overcome the deficiency as well as he has.
None of those tips worked for me, that's for sure. What are the advantages of having better control over the ball toss?
I mean, big one is disguise. Obviously, from a point of view that you can't read the serve. If it goes left, you know the kick is pretty much coming. Not too many people can slide the hand around the outside of the ball. But more from your point of view, obviously, if it's straighter, narrower up in the tunnel, your hit is going to be cleaner. Your body weight is going to be going into the court, and therefore you're going to be able to get more power and consistency with it. When you're chasing where the ball is all the time, you're just not going to be able to hit as clean a serve. You look at Berettini's by comparison and look how short it is out of his hand. John Isner, another great example. The ball barely leaves their hand and they're already hitting it. As much as they have the height advantage, they also have an incredibly efficient ball toss.
Game Team Europe.
Very difficult serve to read that one, so for Auger-Aliassime, you've got to make a decision. Are you going to just be looking to block to get the rally started, or give yourself a little more room and take a more full-blooded swing at the ball? I thought Ruud did an excellent job in that regard in the opening match here.
He did, and it's interesting when you look at sort of both teams' comparison. Obviously you've got Medvedev on the Team Europe side. He likes to play from deep. He doesn't obviously block that many balls, but I think it's going to be an important shot for both teams this weekend, is off the big servers that we have on both sides. How many balls can you chisel back into play, use the surface to keep the ball low, make the net more of an obstacle for their +1 shot after their serves.
It's a very intelligent serve too. As soon as you see an opponent just starting to move up the court a little bit to try and take that ball a little earlier, go into the body. Very effective.
And that's why I just wonder why Berettini hasn't started the match off a little deeper. He's going to get caught. That was 112, second serve into the body. It's tough to get out of the way of that.
I like that lower camera angle as well. It gives us more from a player's perspective, difficulty of getting out of the way of the ball and then taking a full-blooded swing at it when you're returning a big serve like Auger-Aliassime's.
Doesn't hold the ball for a long time on the strings on the return of Berettini. It's a very short, punchy shot. Look, he barely has any backswing. It kind of sends it back very quickly off the racket. I feel sometimes he could just be a little calmer with the return, hold the ball on the strings, drive it back a little bit easier. Looks a bit panicked at times.
Game Team World.
Much more comfortable service holds that time around for Auger Aliassime. And it's 2-1.
Team World leads 2 games
So
to
the
1.
next set.
Can we get photos?
Johnston's housekeeping needs a few more towels as well as the temperature risen a little bit on the court to make conditions just a little quicker for his team. It's an interesting dynamic, isn't it, with John as captain? So many nervous energies is prowling around you, and you've got to captain knowing your player well.
Question be Jason. I think it does. I think what players are. I'm sure John spoke in the field. He said, what do you like? Do you want a lot of advice? You don't like too much advice. I mean, every player is very particular about that. Obviously, in the early skirmishes that we're seeing here, he's got through a difficult opening service game, but he's settled nicely in the second one there. No massive secrets between these two out there. John doing a great job on this change of just looking calm. How he's feeling inside is another matter.
The 3 previous Laver Cups have been so very close. Final throws of the last day of action. It must be so frustrating for McEnroe. He hasn't been able to win one of those for Borg. He's been plain sailing most of the time. He's one of those coaches that say much of the change of events he hasn't needed to. His team have played and performed so well. He's had help when required. His vice captain Thomas Enquist and the other players in the team have all chipped in as well. They get their timing with right. Absolutely perfect, I think.
Yeah, and they've had some strong leaders, let's be honest. You know, Roger, Rafa, Novak have been here. They've been able to really sort of carry the team. I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic for Team Europe, to see just which way they go with when they need that leadership. There's going to be some bumps in the road. It's not going to be plain sailing like it was in match 1 all the way through this particular contest over the weekend. So I'm fascinated to see who steps up. What I will say from the opening match, I thought
50 love.
Bjorn was a little bit more sort of vocal, a little bit more engaged. Obviously, his son's playing a lot of tennis right now. He's kind of re-engaged with the sport to a large degree, and I'm sure that has infused his enthusiasm, and he's been watching a lot more as well. He wants to get his son there, so I'm sure he's very in tune with what's happening with these players.
Where else in Felix? Gonna go for that.
Interesting to see what kind of shoes the players are playing with out here, to be honest. I doubt very many of them have put on a brand new pair of shoes. I would imagine that most are playing with some used soles out there on this court.
It's very tacky, isn't it? It's amazing though, even on court surface like this, which if you go down there, it's fairly rough. There's a lot of sand in the top surface there, but they still manage somehow to slide around it. It's incredible. Nowhere near as easy as it would have been, say, at Flushing Meadows. Court a little quicker, a little smoother.
Game
second
Team
serve there.
Europe.
Nice variation. It's 2 apiece. Both these players at career high rankings currently. Berettini's done well to move up to world number 7. Back of that surge to the final at Wimbledon. Injured, remember, early on off the back of the Australian Open. Out for a couple of months there. Obviously used that time to good effect. Rebounded very strongly thereafter. Got a win in Belgrade on the clay. Beat Karatsev in the final, who beat Djokovic in the semi-finals there. A win at Queen's Club too. So he played some decent stuff on the grass, as we all know. LSU knocking on the door of the world's top 10 now, currently ranked 11.
Love 15.
He was hovering at sort of 20 for quite some time, wasn't it? There was a lot of discussion about whether he had what it takes to knock the door down, break into the top 20, and then continue to improve. But this season, especially in the majors, absolutely outstanding.
Berettino.
He spoke earlier this week about feeling that he's a little more mature now under pressure when it really matters. He has more consistency as far as his base level of play is concerned, day in, day out, week in, week out, which has allowed him to get better results in the majors.
Well, it was yellow but glowing red, but not in a good way for Team World. This thing left his racket at a rate of knots. That actually is unfathomable. Look at the load in the legs that he explodes off the ground to be able to hit that shot. Cannonball.
The shot I think he struggles with most. That forehand down the middle of the course, medium pace.
15-14.
Yeah, he doesn't get as much work on it as some players, and it feels quite a flat hit. And I think to create an access part to the court, you need huge spin like Berettini has. He doesn't quite have that, I agree.
So a real opportunity here, Team Europe.
The importance of a stable ball toss certainly coming to the fore there on a big point. Just gives you that little bit of confidence. You know where the ball's going to be in the air and you can focus on your spots. Terrific serve there from Allia시메. This is a big moment here already for Team World.
More of the same there, even though perhaps didn't quite hit his target, it was close enough. Such a sensible little volley, that one, just coming inside it, so it had a little bit of side spin on it, gripping to the court, staying nice and low.
Game Team World.
Huge hold there. He's had to battle hard in this opening set, but he does have a lead midway through it. 3-2.
Team World leads 3 games to 2.
kind of keep a lot in place. Maybe it's
Roger Aliassime to Berettini beats him with his backhand.
Which I agree with to a certain degree on big points, but I think if you go there too often, too consistently, he's got a good enough backhand that he'll pick you off if he knows you're coming there every single time. I think sometimes you've got to lose points in tennis to gain in the bigger moments, and particularly on the serve as well. You don't want to always serve in the spot that you want to wait for a big moment. I think he lost the point there that ultimately got behind in the score. Kind of may help him down the road.
Was anxious this morning to try and involve the crowd as much as he possibly could and to get off to a better start than they've been able to in the 3 previous Laver Cups.
Time.
They've always been playing catch-up. They've done it remarkably well and only just failed to win on the final Sunday, but they just make life so much more difficult for themselves.
Listen, in a tennis match alone, in a single tennis match, we know how big momentum can be and what a part it plays, and suddenly the court looks bigger, you suddenly see opportunities that you weren't seeing before, and clarity comes, and he's absolutely right. They need to finish today at least level, at best, and hopefully, for his sake, 3-1 up. An interesting one. OJ will mix his second serve position. He will go deep. You'll see some changes. Again, most players will go deeper on the ad side than they do on the juice, but he will go deep on the juice as well. Again, I feel that just come through that service game there. Perfect opportunity with a second serve. Gonna make him work. Let's get the rally to 5-6 shots. Let's just test the nerve of it. Ultimately, hurried himself.
Nice forehands. The problem is, if you're taking that return a little too early, you don't quite time it. Against a player like Berettini that can really hurt you with the serve +1. No chance to recover, do you?
No, and I think you see that on this court. Even someone like Riley Opelka, you kind of feel as though go back a bit so that your next step is forward rather than I mistime it and now I've got to go back 2 steps and kind of regain position 2 meters behind the court. It's tough to move that well for anyone. Very different story of this man's first serve, but there's no question that a lot of players having a guess to kind of read which way it goes. He's got a lovely blend. He goes out wide almost as often as he goes down tee. Big points when you look at him. Yes, he'll probably go a little bit more tee on the juice side and maybe tee on the ab because it's a lower, safer serve, but it's marginal. And so therefore you are forced to take a little bit of a gamble when he's hitting that first serve. Good use of the middle of the court from OJ Aliassime. Berettini was just a little tentative with his forehand, surprisingly so.
Worked so hard through all of his service games in this opening set. Has a chance here to move ahead 4 games to 2.
Deuce.
Well, there's an argument to say he got caught in no man's land there, to be honest, Auger-Aliassime. You actually look at where the ball was, it ended up being over his shoulder. Perhaps was expecting a slightly deeper return, but you can see he was having to come off the ground to try and catch up with that, to keep it between shoulder and waist, where you want to keep it as a tennis player. It's where your maximum control comes from.
Advantage Team Europe.
That was a good example of what you were remarking upon earlier. He just didn't quite time the slide, did he, out to the backhand there, and then had a little look at the court afterwards. It was smooth in those wider zones than it is in the middle of the baseline, sort of slightly closer to it.
One of his favourite shots, the +1 drop shot after his serve. He loves to play it on both sides.
Deuce.
There was certainly a lot of space there. Auger had dropped deep.
Let's first service.
Another clean, crisp ball using the electronic line
Advantage
system
Team
here.
Europe.
What do you make of that, Mark? Are you a fan?
I'm personally not. I know I'm in the minority in tennis right now. Everyone's saying it speeds the game up. There's no room for doubt. I personally like the 3 challenge system. I like having lines people. I know Daniel Medvedev will disagree with me. The less people on the tennis court, the better for him. The deeper he can play from. And I get points of view, but if you're to ask me, I like the entertainment value for the fans.
There's no doubt it does add to the drama, doesn't it, as well? Superb stuff from Auger-Aliassime there. Some wonderful variation, some very intelligent use of the slice.
Yeah, and it's going to be a court that allows that kind of point to be developed time and time again. I'm sure the players over the course of the last few days practicing here have got a feel for it. They're now getting a great insight. And look at this. It's not something that Auger-Aliassime does that much. As I said, there's been a 10% uptick this season on backhand slices, but it's something that Berettini is far more comfortable. He hits more slices than topspin, actually, the Italian in general.
But it's not a push, it's not a floaty slice, is it?
No, It's not, and it
Advantage
also
Team
doesn't take much
Europe.
energy out of you, a slice. It's one of those great shots that keeps you in rallies. You can kind of regain your oxygen levels and everything else. It has been an important shot for the best players over the last few years. It's something that all of them have got better at, and it's a shot that all of these players undoubtedly will need to get better at as well.
It's very hard from the camera angle that we use most of the time to see how much slice there are on those backhands and how low it stays. Having been courtside for the first match of the day, I mean, things getting up off the court a matter of inches only. Very effective. These balls will be fluffing up, getting fairly old now. We introduce the new ones after 7. Again, that slice
Advantage
backhands,
Team World.
drawing the error. Another chance to break here.
Let the service.
Wonderful feel. Courageous shot.
That thing was hanging on a thermal.
Deuce.
It was just gliding over. It's a shot, as I say, he loves to play. He feels very comfortable, even break point down playing it. It's too good.
Nice little backhand down the line there.
Advantage Team World.
Such an important shot against somebody that obviously has such a dominant forehand in Berettini, to go to that and go there, but also not allow him to suddenly take control of the point, and that's exactly what Allia시메 did. Brilliant stuff.
Longest game of this opening set. Perhaps the most vital. Another chance here to surge ahead, 4-2. Very quickly snuffed out. Again, in terms of pace, 127, so mid-range, but it's the accuracy, disguise on the
Mid-range for
toss.
him, maybe, Jason.
Yes.
Career best for me, downwind in a small hurricane.
It's the beauty of control of the ball toss, the disguise, and the variation, keeping your opponent guessing.
Well, he started his run straight at the ball, and it's very difficult in that moment to try and get yourself out on the
Advantage
semicircle
Team
run
World.
that you need to do in tennis to kind of run to the side of the ball. You can see there he kind of got behind the ball and had to run straight at it, and then he was trying to manipulate the space. right at the end. Became a very awkward shot.
In a very awkward service game.
Game, Team World.
That's the beauty of hanging tough in his earlier service games in this opening set. Makes the most of the opportunities there, does break. And 4-2 is the lead now in this opening set.
Team World leads 4 games to 2.
This is going to be an interesting game coming up, as you made the point, Jay. The ball's getting a little
Thank
older,
you, ladies
getting
and gentlemen,
just a
behind
little
the
heavier.
players.
If he can make a lot of first serves, then maybe he can get himself to consolidate, and up 5-2 as
Just quickly, please,
ushers have
behind the
allowed
players.
people back into it. They've been out for a fair while. That was a long old game. Had a lot of money for these tickets.
That was the point they were making, I think. Not sitting out for another 10 minutes there. I'm coming in right now. Not missing any of this action. Good serve.
Yeah, Berettini had to make the adjustment.
51.
Really, has he? What's that now? 62% of second serve points won for Team World in this match. That's just very high. And you know, Berettini is the one that needs to make the adjustment. Aliassime can continue doing what he's doing, throwing in very quick second serves into that left hip of the Italian, getting the desired result.
Tennis players, we know, historically are fairly stubborn animals, and it took Opelka about a set to start making adjustments in the opening match here today, but you would have thought midway through the opening set, having played as long as they have, we're almost at 40 minutes now, that the signs are there. Going to the Berettini forehand initially in the rally to then open up that opportunity there to try and then break down the backhand. Big points here.
You feel Berettini that plays his double-hander very much with a right-hand dominant. It comes out of the string so flat. There's a big spin differential between Felix and Berettini out here. Not a difference in pace, but spin rate much flatter from the Italian, and that always is a good guidance to the fact that it is more right-hand, and as a great double-hander should always be the hand on top of the grip that is doing the work. It should almost, for him, be like a left-handed forehand. It isn't. I think it's one of the reasons why as well, when you watch him return at times, he's very he stops on it. His right hand is the one that ends up kind of dominating the follow through rather than his left hand, which when I said keep the ball on the strings, if it was just more his left hand, he would just follow through a little bit more.
That's a superb response. Under a little bit of pressure there at 15-30.
New balls,
Team
please.
World are rolling very nicely now.
Team
They
World
lead
leads 5 games to 2.
That is absolutely decent. The end of the quarter, super slippery. Like when I went returning far there,
Okay, tennis fans, it's time for some trivia from our friends at hand. Look at this bracket.
someone elected. I asked the first time.
I'm here with Rina, who's here all the way from Japan just to see Laver Cup. Let's give her some love. Austin.
Doing some beautiful work, man. They stay down on those back.
Here's the deal. If you get this trivia question right,
Adjusted quickly, you went back. You're giving them a lot of
ready?
different looks.
Multiple
Really
choice.
well done.
Let's take a look at the video walls, everybody. You can play along. All right.
I was going to say,
Which one of these cities has not hosted Laver Cup? A, Geneva, B, Chicago, C, Las Vegas, or D, Prague. Rena, what do you think it is? C, Las Vegas. What do you think? Is she right? You're absolutely right. Here's your brand new racket from all of us at Laver Cup and ahead. And you never know, we may come find you next, everybody. Good luck to you.
It's a nice positive reinforcement from Captain John McEnroe. They're delighted with all that
Time.
he's seen in this opening set from his charge, Felix Auger-Aliassime. Struggled initially, if you weren't with us, and he's opened a couple of service games, or certainly 2 of the first 3. Battle hard to win those. Advantage of an opportunity to fashion the only break of this opening set. So there has been a fairly big swing here as far as the win predictor is concerned. Berettini, 56% favourite initially. Now it's Auger-Aliassime holds the upper hand.
Very tiny first point there from Berettini. Beautiful backhand down the line. Look at the length on that. Not an easy ball to get up and down for a lot of players.
Really looks ruffled. One or two misses. I like that one. That will have team captain Bjorn Borg concerned. That's been the cleanest of opening sets, this from Berettini.
Left for service. Game Team Europe.
Just upping the pace a little bit there, 132 miles an hour, that one nice and flat.
Team World leads 5 games to 3.
So still in with the shouts in this opening set, but this is the moment of truth as far as Team World are concerned. It's Europe who have the lead. Kasper Ruud with the win in the opening singles match of the day over Aurelio Pelka. missed by the narrowest of margins there. Just needed a little more rest, a little more spin to get the dip. Did it well. He's had a lot of success with that forehand cross in the latter stages of this opening set.
Yeah, he has, and one of the advantages of having a slightly flatter forehand is obviously if he can still find the curve and the three-quarter length rather than the full length, he's getting it through the court pretty quickly, and it's coming through quite low. And as you rightly say, he's had some good success from that particular shot. Looked rock solid off that wing, to be honest.
Activity.
It's 2 in this game now. Oh, got away with it. The cleanest of smashes. We'll take it.
40-30.
They didn't remark when Larry Bird's shots went in around the rim and dropped through, did they? They just cheered.
Even louder. A fascinating opening set this, hotly contested. Here's Roger Aliassime for Team Worlds, a point away from winning it.
Let's do service.
That one somewhat.
Use.
Does have a slightly different technique on his forehand. His racket face stays open a little longer on the back. It doesn't kind of sort of point down to the ground. You can see, look at there the strings. Look at how sort of perpendicular to the side of the court they are. He does get it into a decent position at the bottom, but it's not quite as modern a forehand as some of them out there, and that's why it's flatter. And sometimes his margin for error is just that much higher than other players.
The perfect ball toss.
Advantage, Team World.
As a result, a superb serve. Demanding more with another set point here.
11 seconds.
Is this an indication, Mark, of the additional pressure that somebody like Alliassime will feel representing a team as opposed to playing as an individual?
I think a little bit. I mean, it's a big match. There's not much between these two in the opening set. He knows, as every tennis player does, how important the opening set is in terms of your percentage chance to go on and win it. This is significant.
Oh, never did enough for the approach shot there. Just forcing the play.
Advantage, Team Europe.
Johnny Mack's going to be asking him why he didn't come into the backhand from there, but it was a difficult inside out, to be honest. And he'd gone there an awful lot already. There was some winner from Berettini. Here's the lifeline.
Alliassime's forehand really cost him dear in that game. Excellent response from Berettini. And Team Europe are right back in this opening set now. We're back on serve. It's 5 games to 4. Nice encouragement from Daniil Medvedev there.
Not if you're in Alliassime. He's so tight. Just make balls. That's not what you want to hear as a tennis player.
So many frames, but he hits many frames normally, huh?
He's never going out long.
Visto come è stato lui duro, quando doveva vincere il suo servizio per andare in set a un set.
15 duro tight.
This is a lot of the time people talk about
Anche la seconda va.
I look at Alliassime's forehand and I see a little technique. When it's good, it's amazing. But I do feel as though that's another area of his game where he just needs to work a little bit on to be able to feel as comfortable in those big moments that those kind of mistakes aren't going to count.
It's so difficult, isn't it, for a player like Alliassime that's had a problem with a shot throughout his career. He knows it.
Make him pay. Right back and put some pressure on.
Everybody else knows it. When you're playing well and you're confident and it's early in the set, it doesn't really hurt you, but always comes back to bite you in the butt when it really matters. That's why it's so crucial, watertight technique at the highest levels of the game. There's something for him to continue to improve. He's done so this season, no doubt about it. Fewer errors, and that game really cost him. Berettini back on serve, 4-5. Opening set. Europe, 1-up.
15 long.
Doesn't take much for Berettini to get a little more pep in his step. Beautifully done. Korea was remarking in the opening match how difficult it is to smash in an arena like this when you still have the points being played on the Jumbotron there. The ball's right up there. There's so many lights up there. Different shades, different colors. So difficult. So all of the players here just taking a bit of pace off the smash, making sure that they make it. It was a good one under pressure.
30-15.
Such a good forehand there from Alliassime. That's the response when you're getting pushed and pulled around the baseline.
30-11.
Yeah, he's hit a good ball there. Berettini saw some space down the line, I think. He took his eye off the ball a little bit. He was just trying to check where Alliassime was, but he was pulling the trigger on his own forehand. I think he thought the ball was high enough for him to gun it down the line. Big missed time. That's where I just feel as though the block return would be just such a nice option for Alliassime, just to sort of take the pressure off a little bit. Let's just see Berettini sort of work his way out of the hole that he's in at 30-all rather than trying to hit such a great shot.
Decent serve, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, most tennis matches are still lost rather than won.
Second service.
Wow, what a forehand that was. Absolutely
Game
superb.
Team Europe.
Because he's motoring there as well.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's a work of art for me. I don't know where they're going to stick it in whichever museum in Italy, and there are many of them that are magical. This thing needs to go in there as well. I mean, it is just a sensational shot. It's right up there with the very best that have ever played the game.
So all change. Tail end of this opening set now. Alliassime with the opportunity to close it out. Reeled back in, 5 apiece now. Oh yes.
Just watching Johnny Mack there. Don't think again he was massively impressed with the location of the forehand. Not only that, but it was very tentative.
Might have a word in his shell-like change of ends.
Berettini.
And I think, to be fair, he'd probably be right as well, because up to this stage, Berettini hasn't really threatened with the backhand pass at all at the moment. So even though there's probably the knowledge there that it's coming in there, he hasn't really threatened. So wait till he makes a couple before you decide to go the other way.
Lovely feel.
There was the change up from Berettini going back on the second serve. He made the return. And one of the sort of difficult things at times when people are telling you make balls in the court. We heard that at the changeover from Medvedev for Team Europe, that he was a little tight, that you could see Auger Aliassime, is that you can be almost too passive at that stage, and he's too good to not take advantage of some of those shots.
That was a better forehand. Needed to be.
40-15.
Go to his forehand when you hit it like that.
Effective return against
40,
everybody, really.
30.
Deep down the middle, straight back at the server. First in the half volley, slightly off balance because they're still finishing their serve.
Game, Team World.
Nice response. Under a fair amount of pressure there. But Auger Aliassime
Well,
holds
big
to move
game
into
to
the lead
come.
once more, this time at 6-5.
It's the best backhand he hit the entire match, and he still won the point. He had a good volley. Look at the price out. Okay, that was perfect. Don't tell me it wasn't the way he won. No, it. I try to mix it up sometimes. No, I do. You can't do it. The guy here is crazy to hit. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go there. Yeah.
And the first one on the forehand shouldn't be there, but.
When he ended to make it 5-all, like that slice shot, I like that shot. The guy hit a, I mean, that was an incredible shot. I wouldn't think that he could hit that. Don't be afraid of that.
Again, it's a fascinating discussion, isn't it, between team captain John McEnroe and Felix Auger Aliassime. He's definitely trying to make a specific point in the opening set, isn't he? There's Roger. Nice to have him in the house as well. Saw him earlier today. He's still rehabbing. The operation went well on the knee. He's on crutches at the moment, so keep our fingers crossed that we will see him back in action next year. Look how nice for him to be in the house here, inspiring those, particularly in Team Europe. It was fascinating. As soon as they put him on the Jumbotron at 3-2, everyone to a man just instantly on their feet. Berettini from 6. Just getting back to that discussion of change of ends, Mark. It's obvious that John wants to make his point, but he doesn't want to be too much in his face.
I thought he did a good job there. He was kind of highlighting the fact that, you know, the best backhand that Berettini's hit on the pass, he still won the point with the volley. And Felix was saying, yeah, I just sometimes feel like I need to mix it up. And John said, no, I get that.
Just don't do it.
But just don't do it.
Hence a rally like that.
Yeah, he handcuffed him in the backhand corner.
Love 30.
And it was a perfect point. He had great location of his shots. He had great width. He never put one in a position where Berettini could get his forehand into play.
Love 40.
Well, apparently he doesn't just take Roger Federer and get standing ovations here at the Garden. Felix Auger-Aliassime brings the crowd out of their seats as he brings up 3 set points.
Fifteen 40.
Makes a high percentage of serves over the lower part of the net. Does Berettini on these break points? Will he go to the backhand this side, or does he see a weakness on the forehand? As I say, his split is pretty even. T to ad on the break points, on the ad side, T and wide, sorry, on the ad, but he makes more down the T, so that's your gamble as the returner. You give him the one out wide, which he misses a little bit more, and try and just gamble on the T. I think if I'm Auger-Aliassime, I do. Too good. Just way too good.
Yes.
Absolutely nothing you can do about that. 131 miles an hour, inch perfect. Quite the angle he's able to create there. 3 set points saved.
Gotta love these moments for these players out here at the Laver Cup. This is what it's all about. So much passion on display from the fans. They know how big this is for Team World.
Fourth set point.
Yes.
Believe it. He's done so well initially with the 2 backhands, the single-hander first, and then the double to set up the forehand. What a miss.
Team World.
lives sooner rather than later, surely. Set point now.
Well, the first forehand, I think, was the right shot. He didn't want to go middle with the return. It was a smart second serve on the previous set point for Auger-Aliassime. He's looking, the Italian, to get the ball up the middle of the court to get his forehand play. I understood the necessity to go for that big. Again, I would like to see Auger-Aliassime at that wrinkle of a block return at times on there, just to let Berettini miss. He's set point down. He's nervous now.
Not a shot that comes naturally to Auger-Aliassime, but certainly one that he needs to add to his repertoire. What a hold! Gets out of jail and draws Laver, fending off 5 set points along the way. And the tiebreak will decide matters in this opening set.
Yeah, it's an amazing serve, isn't it? He saved a couple of set points with serves out wide. One was just a flat bomb. That one was a kicker with control. They both ended up right on the advertising boards. Nothing Auger-Aliassime could do. What a game, what a set. And what a moment for Berettini.
So crucial for Auger-Aliassime to get up to a decent start in this tiebreak with all of those missed opportunities still so fresh in his mind.
Yeah, he's got the crowd right into this at the moment. They are right behind him. He drops this opening set. You're going to feel as though there's been a pin put in the atmosphere out here. Dropping deep. Little change up here from Auger-Aliassime.
Suddenly, when you do drop deep and you make the return like that, the first shot of the rally thereafter for Berettini, nowhere really to go. Put him under a lot of pressure. Very smart tactic there. Means that Berettini has to work harder to fashion an opening. That ferocious forehand of his.
Well, he's just got out of our hotel there, Berettini, which used to be a jail. It's now a luxury hotel that we're fortunate enough to stay at. It's got a bar called The Clink, and that's exactly where Berettini has just escaped from. There's no way he should have won that point.
I must admit, I did wonder where you were going there initially. I got there in the end. Very nicely done.
Yeah, if you ever find yourself in Boston, head down to the Liberty Hotel. It's got an interesting past.
Just got a little greedy there. Didn't hold the upper hand of the
3-1.
rally.
Team World.
Yeah, they seem to neutralize very nicely. Very patient. Big point this.
A good shot from Berettini to keep the ball low. A
Team
bad
World.
choice of shot for Auger-Aliassime on the volley there. Make him beat you again. There's a big part of the court to hit that backhand volley into and just try and cover. If he beats you, too good, but why go there? Why try and carve it around the inside of the ball there from down low? Could never get enough pace on it to beat Berettini.
Time he did make the return with the block. Didn't time it particularly well, but it doesn't matter. Not at this stage of the proceedings.
4-2. Team World.
Yeah, he got lucky with the return there. It was tough decisions, wasn't it, for Berettini? He ended up just trying to ask the question of Auger-Aliassime double-hander there, but actually probably would have been better off trying to kind of carve it cross-court short and try and get the Canadian on the run. Tough to make those kind of instantaneous decisions though in such a pressure-filled moment.
That's the beauty of making your opponent play, isn't it? On the return, you never know.
Well, just 11% of first serves are blocked by Auger-Aliassime on a hard court in the course of this season. And again, I'd like to see that number for the Canadian up around 30 at least off these. I mean, he's facing 125, 130 average first serves all the time. It's tough to time it driving through it.
Superb serve.
4-3. Team World.
Well, that time he was able to do just enough with the approach shot to the forehand to draw the error.
Team World. Team 3. Team World.
Five set points have come and gone. Another 3 here. It's wide.
Game in first set. Team
Superb
World.
stuff
7
from
games.
Felix Auger-Aliassime. Under extreme pressure at the tail end of that opening set, wins it in the end, 7 games to 6, brings Team World right back into the opening game. Well, that was a tremendous effort there, Petch.
It was. He rode his luck at the 3-2 point when he went up 4-2 after the sort of miss-hit block return onto the line, and he looked very secure from there on in. But yeah, terrific to overcome some sort of mental sort of difficulties there in terms of opportunities that had come but hadn't really done an awful lot wrong in regard of how he had played. Maybe just a little bit overly aggressive on one particular return, but apart from that, a great set of tennis. Berettini would be a little disappointed with how he dropped his opening service game, obviously. Well, the one service game, I should say, that he dropped in that opening set through a couple of loose points on the game points that he had, but there was just hardly anything in it at all. Slightly surprised with the number of unforced errors coming off the forehand side of Berettini, and that will really serve well for Auger-Aliassime as we head towards the second set. Is if the big forehand is he's eroded a little bit of confidence out of that shot for the Italian, then maybe things will look good for Team World as we head towards the second set. But when you look at the numbers there, as you can see, 7 forehand winners, but for me it wasn't about the winners on that side, it was the unforced errors as the Italian just struggled a little bit to have the dominance. The inside in forehand for the Team Europe player just hasn't been as good, and Felix Auger-Aliassime's 2021 continues to impress.
So much to admire in the opening sets, particularly mentally as far as Auger-Aliassime was concerned, having had the opportunity to serve it out, having failed miserably when doing so, to respond then so positively towards the tail end of the tiebreak was absolutely superb, and just exactly what Team World required. Built up a lot of confidence in doing so well in the majors this season. Remember, 4th round of the Australian Open quarterfinals of Wimbledon. Finally, says Johnny Mack, we got a set in the books. Semi-finalist at the US Open, and he's continued that rich vein of form here today.
Love the patterns. Love the patterns. Backhand pass can't do anything. You'll always have a look at a volley. Love the patterns, bro.
Nice reiteration of exactly what Captain John McEnroe is trying to get into play just a little more frequently. Auger-Aliassime breaking down the backhand,
What did
especially
you
on the
see
big
from
points.
outside, like, you know what I meant, those 2 seconds to return?
I mean, I know. I said give yourself some space because I felt like the rest of the set when you had a second serve, like the timing was great. And I felt like on all your break points, you actually got closer than the other second serve.
Okay.
So I said give yourself some space, but I feel like against him, if you go back like he did the last few, he actually doesn't hit it as big as the other ones. He stood a little closer. He hits them a little bigger, which is tougher.
Yeah.
And whether you want to go back to where you were or even like the other ones, you were hitting the second serve on break points almost on the baseline. His serve is good. Like that's tough to do. You give yourself enough space, you gotta look at it like that.
Yeah.
The last ones are great because even through the middle, like his first point, he never really tees off on, so you'll always get able to get back to the point. I feel like.
Got it.
Yeah, no, points and patterns were great.
You're a warrior, bro. Unreal, you were
I love the fact that Felix there asked the question, what do you think I can do differently on those big points where I missed the returns? And then Jack Sock there, very forthcoming in terms of specific feedback. Just thought you got a little too close to the baseline. Just try and give yourself a little more room. Just drop back, make the play. Doesn't tee off, his words, not mine, on the first shot of the rally as much. So I really like that specific exchange there.
Absolutely, and I think, in tennis we're very sort of hardwired for this sort of move forward, take time away, be more aggressive, all of those things dictate the future, but actually dictating your future often can be actually going back, laying back, making your opponent miss, getting more balls in court, kind of seeing it from a different way. And I think that, I thought Auger-Aliassime did that pretty well. Jim Courier just texting from down there on the court, his linguistic skills are far higher than either of ours, I think, Jason, and Fede Lopez was actually saying to Matteo at the start of the tiebreaker, because Matteo was asking, should I go back further? You know, it's one of the big sort of parts of this game is actually sometimes is understanding when you want to give yourself more time, you know, rather than trying to rush your opponent and actually ultimately end up rushing yourself. Auger-Aliassime just fractionally better in that opening set, but still very much all to play for here.
Been going for an hour and 25 minutes here. Match 2, day 1. Team Europe winning the first. Casper Ruud in straight sets of Aurelio Pelka, but here it's Auger-Aliassime set up on Berettini. Just tried to slide and a little too gritty, never made the distance.
Some of these players would have been able to slide in Rod Laver's spikes that he used in his win in the championship match for the calendar Grand Slam, of course, at Forest Hills back in '69 against his good friend Tony Roche. It was been raining all the time, and Tony Roche decided not to play in the spikes, but Rod Laver did. Harry Hopman, the great Australian coach, always had the Aussies on some bad weather days practicing, and then they took a little bit of a skill. You actually had to pick your feet up far more when you were playing in the spikes than on a normal pair of shoes. And as he said here, it's a very different style of movement for these players compared to when we were out there, Jason. There wasn't any sliding on these, so Rod came up with the good footwear. Very heavy racket that Berettini plays with. Actually, Andy Murray hit with it in Cincinnati, said he can serve rockets with it, but it's very tough to control it. It's very particular to him. Obviously the same model of racket that Andy uses, but it's incredibly powerful. I wonder why sometimes they also doesn't hit his two-hander with it. It's easier to control when it's that powerful to hit your slice.
Out of that forehand corner there from Auger-Aliassime.
40-30.
Yeah, that was a great dig, and it was a very low ball. You look at Berettini hitting that, he couldn't actually get down to it. It was so low, he was almost hitting it like we would call a cricket shot in the UK. He couldn't get down and keep his racket parallel to the surface of the court. Brilliant from Auger-Aliassime.
I'm sure they played a little bit of cricket.
They would have done.
It's a game that looked like it was going to be a nice, comfortable hold initially, and all of a sudden, pause for concern.
Yeah, again, it's the forehand that's just not landing the telling blow for Berettini. Very unusual for the Italian.
What a volley!
Great balance from Berettini here at the net. It was a good guide on the approach. Look at this though, he held it perfectly, had weight on both right and left leg. Could have gone either way there had he guessed one way or the other and guessed cross court. Auger-Aliassime's shot was good enough to beat him. That's multi-millionaire stuff from Aliassime. Almost 130 mile an hour first serve in, as you can see in your back there, and he has flushed it out of the middle of his racket to the baseline of his opponent. Unplayable.
Difficult shot. You're trying to give yourself room to get out of the way of the ball. That's the difficulty of standing right up on the baseline. In doing so, you're moving in the opposite direction. You're trying to hit the ball. So just get a little late on that shot, and you run out of court.
Thanks, Jason. We're going to hopefully grab John McEnroe here for a quick chat once Felix comes by. Felix changing the momentum of this match here. Come back there in that game from 40 love down. So Mac, that was seemed like a pretty vital first set for you guys, changing the momentum here. What did you tell Felix to get this one over to your side?
I think he played tactically great. He was playing hard. He's got an extra speed to his advantage. It felt like it made an impact, but I mean, listen, he had 6 set points. I said next time you're up 5-3, 30 love, you don't mind win 6-3.
Part of the strategy to keep Matteo out here, he's got to go doubles tonight. Pretty good, an hour 20 first set.
Well, these guys are fit, so I don't think that's an issue, but it's been a hell of a match, and the guys are playing well.
All right, got a little momentum. Team World on the march. Back up to Jason.
One of the many things I love about the Laver Cup, Mark, is this access that we get to speak to captains mid-match and those that are also in the team on the benches. Nice to see John smiling.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling good about that, and he knows how significant the set was for his team and his chances of obviously trying to win this Laver Cup for the very first time. Suddenly a rubber down, a tie down already, and then obviously, you know, suddenly you're a set down after a set that he should have won fairly comfortably, and things are just going to start feeling a little bit awkward for him. So there was a huge amount of relief in that interview with Jim Courier.
Berettini.
Got fierce velocity, but velvet touch as well, and that's the thing I love about Berettini when I watch him play.
I don't think there's an Italian that's ever played the game that doesn't have velvet touch. Fair comment?
It's a fair comment. A lot of Italians through the sort of 1990s didn't have the kind of serve that Berettini has. That was one shot that they were very kind of weaken by the standards of their rankings, but not him.
You think of the likes of Seppi and Valangru?
Yeah, they just didn't have the overpowering serves. Technically, it looked a little bit awkward.
Holding serve in the opening game here in the second set was so crucial for Berettini here. Look at this now, a chance to move ahead. Time there, and that will be greatly appreciated in this arena.
Say that again, got a little fortunate with the approach shot. There was nothing fortunate about that. That was unbelievable athleticism. Lovely little double bounce as well, wasn't it? Just to activate the muscles to be able to get the air time that he got. Good serving here from Auger-Aliassime under pressure.
That he's been able to win at the majors this year has left him battle hard. And a good example there of responding so well to all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, just a couple of examples again for the tall guys here this weekend of the Laver Cup, maybe just struggling a little bit with some of the grittiness of the surface. Berettini a couple of times on those last 2 points was out of position with his footwork, which contributed to the misses on the backhand. stuck it down the line on a dime.
15-30.
Can't do better than that. Both players, to be honest. Yeah, Auger-Aliassime comes away with a point, but Berettini did a great job of almost defending the situation. Incredible flexibility from Auger-Aliassime.
What a response.
Not only has he found the angle, but he's found the distance off the bounce to hit it on the scoreboard at the back there. I mean, it's just incredible.
It's like halfway up the service box, isn't it?
Just doesn't lose anything through the bounce, Berettini serve as well.
Always gone old school there, but what a pass! Still had an awful lot of work to do there after a very sensible volley.
30-40.
Pulled the needle out there, and he has just threaded it. This is not an easy ball. It was a little bit closer to him and lower than he would have liked. He's fashioned something out of nothing.
A couple of wonderful backhands in this game, and his reward here, an opportunity to break. Maybe an example, Mark, I think he's only taken the one step there, so it's well within reach. Just a little block.
Yeah.
Use the pace.
And those will be the significant number changes for him. It won't look like a lot to people that are watching him, but he just goes up 10%, 15% of those, particularly on the big points, to have that plan. 130's coming in, I'm going to block, whatever happens.
That's a nasty fall there. He's okay. A little embarrassed, but he's okay. Just slipped a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Could have been nasty.
That could have been really bad. Thankfully he's okay.
The camera was just slightly to his left as well, wasn't it? Otherwise he could have gone right into that. So well there, put the jets on, made the distance, and then had the necessary feel to the answer. The net point with a lovely little drop shot.
It almost feels as though we're going to see a lot of these exchanges over the next sort of 2.5 days. When the ball's down low underneath the net, the best way is almost to drop it back short and kind of bring the opponent in. Every time you go long and slow, they've got time to do something with it.
Nice moves. What a event partaking in a Jack Sockley on my team.
Yep.
Simple as that. That brings such good energy, doesn't it? Enjoys being part of a team. He was saying yesterday in the press conference, it doesn't matter to him what he's doing, bringing the oranges, practice partner, all playing. He loves every single second of it. tennis out of both corners.
Obvious shot was cross court, and you could see Berettini had lent that way, had no weight on his left leg to come back. Sensational from Allia시메. That shot just hasn't appeared today for Berettini. Inside in forehand.
Advantage Team World.
What a passage of play this is. Allia시메 under pressure in the previous service game, managed to get the hold there. Has an opportunity here to break.
There'll be so many solitary moments over the course of the next 3 days that we look back on and think, wow, what happened if they'd have missed that shot, or how did they make that shot? And that suddenly was the catalyst for a turnaround win, or perhaps a potential defeat from the jaws of victory. That was a huge backhand for Berettini.
Having worked so hard physically to stay in the rally as long as he did.
Advantage Team Europe.
That was a premium version of the Berettini forehand. And the roar accompanied it.
Both players standing with the enormity of the moment. Berettini on track as far as Team Europe are concerned. 2-1 in the second set.
Team Europe is against
Of course, Jack Sock is the king of celebrations, and he's got even more to celebrate today. He is the birthday boy. Forget about the bananas, it's all about cake on your birthday. So he's got to celebrate today. 29 years of age. No better way to spend it than at the Laver Cup, that is for sure. It's so nice to see Jack sort of falling back in love with the game. I mean, there's so many terrible injuries over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been a tough period for him. I mean, you know, look at a guy that's been at the World Tour Finals, won the Masters in Paris, you know, huge tournaments, huge moments, much more than just a doubles player. And yeah, I think trying to rediscover your love for it later on in your 20s is never going to be easy when he had so much to overcome, but he's one of those electrifying players. And when he's on, and that forehand is as big as any out there on the tour, and he's athletically equal to these players out here.
Discussion there about Europe bench. Enquist is the vice captain. He's fairly vocal.
Time.
Standing for support here as he battles so hard to hold serve there, keeping contention here. It's only 2-1 in the second set. So much tennis in it already. Matches an hour and 49 minutes old. Europe, of course, winning the first match today. Casper Ruud in straight sets over Romeo Pelka, both making their debuts here in the Laver Cup. Similar scenario here for these two. Boucher and Allia시메 took the opening sets on a tiebreak. On serve here in the second 1-2.
15 love.
Linear strikes haven't been great for Berettini today. We've seen one or two, obviously, flashes of brilliance on that particular swing when he's been in that part of the court down the line, but the inside in hasn't been there. And again, I kind of feel as though it must be encouraging. Auger Aliassime can protect the cross-court shot, but doesn't need to worry about the other ones at the moment.
I'm going to slice serve well today.
14
I call it little. It's 120. It's moving. A very good description. I shall rephrase. Lovely slice serves out wide.
It's his natural motion, isn't it? You know, his hand is a little bit at the back of the service motion, sort of ready to hit the slice rather than necessarily the big kicker. We don't see him hit a lot of kickers. We see at times he will go that route, but it is very much his natural serve. Loves it. Berettini heading back to the front row here of the crowd.
He likes to use slice because the grip that he uses on the serve lends itself more to that particular thing.
Well, I think it's a good point. I mean, to be honest, I haven't been on the court looking at it. You know, sometimes optically it can look a little bit one way, and then when you go on the court, you realise that actually the V between the sort of thumb and the finger actually sitting in the right part of the court. It looks a bit forehand, doesn't it? If you're looking at it purely from where we are, from a fair distance away, looks a little bit more forehand than perhaps you would like it to be. So a bit more on top of the grip rather than round towards the backhand side, which would just give him perhaps just a little bit more of an ability to hit the kicker more safely.
Hesitation there from Berettini. Lovely feel off both legs as far as the drop shot's concerned. I'm sure that's his mum there as well. It's nice to have nearest and dearest lending their support at an event like this.
Family's not necessarily getting multiple waivers to get into the US at the moment. They're getting single waivers for travel. So the players are getting multiple for a 12-month period to be able to come in and out. If you're here for an extended period of time, 3-4 weeks over the course of a trip to America, then your family can come for a single visit that can last as long as you're here. But once you leave the US, you have to then reapply. So a lot of these families will stay on, I would imagine, through to San Diego, Indian Wells.
Nice to have a comfortable hold there, so Berettini continues to battle hard midway through the second set. Team Europe lead 3 games to 2.
Yes. Mi può passare un'acqua fuori?
It's an important point that you make, Mark, in terms of composition of the crowd here at this event as well. So we have a lot of people flying.
Gets up a little bit.
Love put in the effort to get the case this time around. Hopefully next year.
Ups and downs.
That's obviously what we're all hoping
Hey,
for.
folks, be sure to visit
It's
the Laver
a
Cup
good
site
crowd,
on
though,
the
but obviously with the restrictions, people worry a little bit, but fantastic. Everyone's coming.
YouTube. Don't forget to include hashtag Laver Cup post on
So
Instagram. We'll
it's
show
been
the
great to
best
see.
photos up on the video boards all weekend long.
Certainly the tennis in the opening couple of matches so far hasn't disappointed at all. They're still very finely poised.
On so many aspects of the Laver Cup, but I think what they got absolutely right from day one was the scoring system. They used just the 2 sets and the Laver breaker. Because right here in a normal match, you're set up, you're on serve midway through the set, you really feel a great deal of pressure. But if you're Berettini in a situation like this, you know you can win this match for the next 20 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it keeps the crowd on the edge of their seats. It keeps all of us on the edge of our seats looking for where the crack may come in terms of where the turnaround may happen. So, yeah, he's got to be perfect from here on in. Auger-Aliassime, if he's going to claim a first point here for Team World.
Lovely close, and a nice variation on the volley too. Berettini was steaming into the net, expecting the drop ball.
Awkward in the end, actually didn't have as much space as he would have liked. He was kind of jammed in there. Pretty sure that's To's dad as well behind the Laver Cup mask.
Gets very nervous, doesn't he? Courtside, it's tough to watch.
He's a parent.
Exactly.
Looking at comparable kind of numbers for Felix this year, we've highlighted his ball toss consistency coming into this Laver Cup. 647 service games played back in 2019. He'd served 247 doubles, 81% service games won 2021. As we see the win predictor here, again heavily in Auger-Aliassime's favour. Similar number of service games played, 207 double faults, so 20% less doubles. Nice from Berettini. 3% more service games won. 3% service games, perhaps the viewers at home doesn't sound a lot. But this is a game that's won and lost in 1-2% changes. You look at Novak, Rafa, Roger, they're 3 Grand Slam years. You know, when they win 3 Grand Slams in a year, the number of points won as differential is about 2 or 3% points. That's it. And it contributes to winning 3 Grand Slams. So that's a significant uptick for Auger-Aliassime on service games won. Would have liked to first serve there. Chances here for Berettini.
Intelligent serving, isn't it? Again, he's tried to go into the body. Perhaps didn't quite hit his spot, but Berettini's going to use additional footwork, get out of the way of the serve. Causes him to miss time beforehand. He's misfired on that wing time and time again today.
Yep, that's like having pineapple on a pizza for an Italian. Unforgivable.
Not just the Italian, surely. Nice deep serve.
Team World.
Good response at 30 all there, so it's 3 apiece now.
3 games on.
with just movement, not in terms of fitness-wise and footwork, just in terms of the tackiness of the course, the ability to slide. He hasn't quite found his range or rhythm in that regard yet. It's one thing to have been here practicing for the first 2 or 3 days. It's a very different scenario when you suddenly find yourself in the throes of a match. Initially on the return, and then on that final forehand that drew the error. In this game, and love do-overs on. And on the first point beforehand there, an opportunity in this game to put Berettini under a lot of pressure. And him off the hook so far.
Sometimes against someone like Berettini, I feel with his two-hander that actually less pace and better depth are actually more important than actually trying to rip that forehand approach shot low and hard. He actually redirects pretty well with pace. But having it generate from a couple of meters behind the baseline on a higher flighted ball actually is more problematic at times.
What a rally!
That wasn't a bad approach shot at all here from Berettini from up high. Look at the Italian here, trading, looking for that opportunity. Comes in, Felix, cue the shot.
Wonderfully well today. It's his nose in front once more. Team Europe with a 4-3 lead midway through the second.
It's a good scrap right now between these two. Both feeling as though they've had a little bit of an in their second set. Possibly could have taken a chance here or there, but neither been able to push through. And that's just what you want to see at this particular moment. Some big sort of sit-down changeovers here. We see Thomas Enquist there looking to find the magic formula here for Berettini. He had a little chance in the early on in the first Auger-Aliassime service game of this second set. Hasn't looked that close subsequently to it. John McEnroe's been very calm in this match. Been interesting to watch how he's kind of just sort of allowed Felix sort of space to kind of do his thing. If he's seen something, he's gone at him and told him to keep focused on one thing. But again, changeover where he's barely uttered a word. Couple coming in now.
Love the way that John McEnroe's kind of let Felix chill initially. If he does have a point to make, he kind of makes it just as he's making his way back out onto court, so remember that. I'm sure you'll be delighted with all he's seen, the fact that he was able to win the opening set. He had a whole host of opportunities to do so, wasn't able to do it initially when he had 5 set points, but he got in the tie break. And again, this is such a crucial 20 minutes or so, particularly for the team world. Anything can happen here with this scoring format. And suddenly the team weren't able to win this match. You're going into the break 2 down, and already you feel halfway through the opening day you've got a mountain to climb. So McEnroe knows as well as anybody that he's 0 for 3 as far as the 3 Laver Cup competitions are concerned. He has to get off to a better start today. He's got to win this match.
Taking up.
So nice looking directly behind the court we referenced very early on in the match. Much better that ball toss is. That one absolutely perfect.
Yeah, he could have stuck that up a pipe and it would have come back down again without touching the sides.
Ball same there.
31.
He's getting tough on top of the pick his serves. I think that on the ad he serves tee better than he serves wide, and if you were playing him, you'd certainly go cover that serve a little bit more. I feel as though he doesn't always hit the really wide angled serve particularly well on the ad, but tee he hits very well on this side. There's a little bit of a read, I think, on his ball toss on the ad side. I find it very difficult to read him on the juice. I think he's got a perfect ball toss on that side. He can go wide and tee off the same. Surprisingly few drop shots from Berettini today so far, and it's not a bad play on this court. And it's not a bad play to go fairly central as well, as we can see here. It doesn't create any angle for Auger-Aliassime to really exploit. Nice movement off the ball from the Italian.
Swift hold. We head into the business end of this second set.
Smart second serve there as well. Quick out wide. Berettini had dropped deep again. He saw the angle was there. He was up in the score line. Just may make Berettini feel uncomfortable doing that on a bigger moment. Don't think it's actually a bad play for Berettini.
It's a late call.
15 love.
Lovely positioning in the net there from Berettini.
Tends to go wide more often on the serve that drifts to the left, Berettini. If you watch him on the juice side, it tends to be the one outside. If you see it drifting, I kind of would say that you would always try and go and cover that one. He will occasionally get you down the tee, but that is the favoured when he moves it that way.
Game, Team Europe.
Love holds. Europe's waiting goal at this stage in the proceedings. Matteo Berettini with a 5-4 lead, tail end of the second set.
Also give him a little bit of a different look, so when you're backing down, you can back down a little bit later.
When was the last time you
go back, you don't show it, you get physical body, otherwise if it goes too far, it might go a little bit more angle on the
Your side?
Yes, on the your side.
When I go back,
yeah,
not too much?
Yeah, no, go back, but wait a little now. You don't show it right away, so it goes back, and then you go really far.
That's what Enquist is saying on the juice side. Just give yourself a little bit of time, let the ball come out of his hand, and then move. He can see what you've done, and therefore it's making it easier for him.
Slight scoreline if you're Matteo Berettini here. In Europe, you know, get a break. This match can be won in the next 10 minutes or so. So that's why Alliassime here really has to be on his guard. Be well aware of that fact. Nervous moments here for Team World, who simply have to win this match to remain competitive. More so than they have in the 3 previous Laver Cups on the opening day to give themselves a better chance with that surge that they always seem to be able to put together on the final Sunday.
See what Berettini does here. Is he going to take up a more standard return position and drop back, as Enquist was telling him at the change of ends, or will he stand his ground? Did exactly what Enquist said he should do, and it worked for him. You're a thing or two about winning great matches.
Does a lot of astute work from the bench throughout the course of these Laver Cups, does Thomas Enquist.
It's much easier to hit a second serve that's got less pace on it when you're moving as well. So actually the fact of just moving back, you've got you've just got something to hit the ball with rather than being so static from a long way behind. If you don't practice it a lot, it's always easy to say to players drop back deep, but if you haven't done it a lot in practice, it's actually hard to do.
Great little volley that. Just enough on it.
15 all.
Crucially, didn't try and get a winner with it. Just dug it in short. A lot of spin. Stayed nice and low. Made that attempted pass much more difficult for Berettini. Another one of those lovely little slice serves.
Straight into the net. Doesn't have that kind of lift with the kick serve off the strings, taking the net out of play.
The one with us turn out of the opening sets, I think we'll see that opportunity to serve it out. Buckled under pressure. Tension in the arm here. Real chance for Berettini. Another very solid smash.
One of the most important shots in tennis. The slice forehand, dig out the corner. Auger-Aliassime just couldn't believe that was going to stay above net height.
Wondrous little dig. 2 points away from taking us to a Laver breaker.
Somebody that isn't as comfortable going back into his return, so he's sort of struggling with it. I do think there's something again that for him he needs to kind of practice. He needs to be able to get that flight, that height over the net, just to give himself another option when people are jamming him and rushing him, as Auger-Aliassime has been on the second serve. But it's been tough for him to implement mid-match.
Game teamwork.
Hanging tough. 5 apiece now.
Time inside.
to protect all of the baseline when you leave the ball there from Berettini's forehand. He can go where he did, he can go inside in generally pretty effectively as well. Hasn't hit that shot quite as well, but Ojale seems to have a great job of keeping the ball out of that centre channel with nothing on it.
Taking on.
Mixed bag in this game from both players. Evidence in both arms. Tremendous return.
30-40.
Got a big first serve. And very sensible shot selection to go to the front. Had the courage to do that. A big point. There's the error and a chance here to break.
Just unanswerable tennis. I mean, nothing that Ojale did there. He was trying to get the return back into play. Almost found the backhand side of the Italian as well. Just a few second serves on those break points, but to be honest, it's been Berettini's great play on the big points that sort of kept him in this match.
Slice backhand and go through that rally again from Allia시메.
Advantage, team work.
Adjustment on a very tacky, very gritty court. That shot has worked well for all concerned on day one so far.
His forehand line out of the juice return has been magnificent to find the backhand of Berettini after the big first serve.
Chance to break in.
Ojale seems to have nothing wrong there. There's been a high frequency of first serves gone to his backhand on the outside, so he was kind of leaning that way, and it was a pinpoint accurate serve from Berettini.
Advantage, team Europe.
tackle hard there, knowing the holds. But he is up for the challenge.
Europe leads 6 games to 5.
This is the second match of the afternoon. First match of the evening session features Andrei Rublev, Team Europe, up against Diego Schwartzman for Team World. Schwartzman hasn't had the best of seasons so far. Rublev, we know, continues to improve week upon week. So again, you'd have to think that Team Europe there have the advantage, and that's why this second match of the afternoon continues to be so crucial as far as Team World's concerned. Then we've got a little bit of doubles to round out the action on the opening day here in Boston. Zverev and Berettini, who's back for more, double dipping today, up against Isner and Shapovalov. Who's the favourites in the doubles for you, Darren?
That's a great question. That's a really... if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Zverev Berettini, to be honest. No great science behind that.
Yeah. I don't want to miss, but think like this. I know. It's very tough to decide where to stand sometimes. Because I feel if I return fast, the second set is quite strong. Yeah, it's fast. It is not a typical kick serve.
Time.
It's kind of slight.
Again, more discussion on what to do when returning second serve. Just go to that point you made at the tail end of the last game when he was returning. What did you mean specifically by needing to practice when you drop back, then still not being able to find your range?
Well, you've got to swing harder. You've got to hit the ball with more elevation. It's a skill set. It's not just you go back to a different location. When you're up on the baseline, you can use pace. You can shorten the swings. There's somebody that used to use pace incredibly well. A big first serve, block, forehand, backhand, and everything else. When you drop in, and Roger doesn't like to drop deep. You tried it, but again, it's a really home bit of practice. And Berettini there's talking that he said, I actually prefer it when I'm sort of up and I'm swinging fast at the ball. I can get the ball back quicker to him.
So many players in this generation have made so effective, likes of Medvedev, but Nadal was one of the first to do it, to drop so far back, but then get the necessary elevation and depth to neutralise the serve and not fall behind in the rally straight away.
Yeah, that's the bit that's lost. Medvedev's length of return, Nadal's length of return from back there is not something that you can achieve easily.
Different types of returns too, aren't they? So for Medvedev, depth even more important, because at least if Nadal drops a little shorter with all of that spin, still gets up fairly high. More room on all of these courts that we found in this day and age. This one here, huge drop back.
Yeah, I would like to see the singles net out here. We saw Medvedev a couple of times at the US Open actually go almost round the net on his return. He's not going to have that luxury with the net that they have on this court here.
Get your career out with scissors. Check. Just take those ends off.
It'll be interesting to see. It's got complicated for Berettini where to stand, what to do on the second serve of Auger-Aliassime.
Because in terms of the player's mindset, do you continue to get frustrated with confusion, or do you stick with what you know you can do well under pressure and then just hope that you can execute well when it really matters?
There wasn't a great return, but he felt as though he was in a decent place after it, looked comfortable on the forehand. Auger-Aliassime not comfortable with the scoreboard.
No pressure on the serve. Sticking with that highly profitable passage of play there. 16 points at the net in the second set. 75%. pressure other than that.
40.
Emanating from the scoreboard.
Which is pressure enough, isn't it?
And an opportunity here for Berettini and Team Europe to take us to a Laver breaker, which will decide match 2 in the opening session here in Boston.
Team Europe.
Out of nowhere.
7 games to 5.
A moment of magic from Matteo Berettini. Seals the second set for Team Europe. And it's 1 set apiece now.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 10 points, match tiebreaker now playing to decide the match.
And again, it's just this format that we use in the scoring here. It's so wonderful. One shot, a moment like that, completely changed it.
I mean, it's completely changed it. It was an awkward game for Roger. If he looks back there were some errors in there that were not what you want to produce in the big pressurized moments. Had they been 1-love up in this, it would have been very interesting to see how he was handling this moment.
What they do better than anyone, they move past it.
Sipping on each on.
You're going to be
Just take a look at those stats.
This is your job now. Forget about it. Okay? Just think about this. You do this and
Okay, Boston, did you hear how early that's our chair umpire? Just let you all know that it's
Forget
now
about all that
a
happened
match
to the tail end of that
tiebreaker.
second
Team
set. If you
World
win
and
this
Team
deciding
Europe.
tie
Make some
break,
noise. Let's
all
get
that
ready for
matters.
this.
It's the job of the captain now to try and get his charge feeling positive about the situation.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, easier said than done. I mean, he's still created a lot of breakpoint chances, and he's just got to win one. Realistically, he's only got to win 1 point against the Berettini serve if he can be really clinical on his own serve and get through this Laver tiebreak. But it's going to certainly be a little bit harder for him because he knows he should have taken the last smash out of the air as well, and he let it bounce. And Berettini be very aware of that down the other end as well. He's going to be so energised, the Italian.
So as is so often the case in these Laver Cup matches, it'll be a deciding tiebreak.
Time.
It will decide matters here. First to 10, winning by 2. Berettini undoubtedly with the momentum coming into it. All the support for Team World playing here in Boston, but it's Team Europe who are able to win the first match of the day. Kasper Ruud beating Riley Opelka.
Match
Straight
tiebreaker.
sets, and Berettini has stolen that second set at the death. And will serve first here in this Laver breaker. Wild start.
1-0. Team Europe.
It looks a little projected too, doesn't it? The language far better as far as Berettini's concerned.
Oh, he's escaped. I mean, he's got a reprieve here. I mean, he's got some free money to play with, and he's enjoying it. Auger-Aliassime's next couple of points here are going to be very telling. He's got to get some traction, you feel, early on in this tiebreaker.
Wonderful response.
That's one Felix not out of his last 11 tiebreakers as well, so a bit of a feel-good factor for the Canadian in that regard.
Another strong smash.
2-1.
Hit that shot well.
Team World.
Very, very good couple of points there from Aliassime. It's going to settle the nerves a bit. Reset, refocus. Essential at that point. If you come in on the back end, you can cover Beretini's down the line and give him the last 20% cross court. And if he hits it there too good, once he found the forehand, you can see here Aliassime knew that the inside out was on as well, and there was just too much space. Couldn't get close enough to the net to cut down the angles. He wasn't, and his reaction showed that there wasn't going to be a winner whether he made it or not, and he was opening up the cross court for Berettini's forehand, which has been stunning today. It's been the shot that he's hit the best. Got to question what he was thinking there. Bit of panic setting in. He wants so desperately to win this for Team World. May want it a little too much.
Adjustment there with the backhand down the line. Found his range beautiful with that one.
Sit off there, sit there, dude.
Very different mindset for the players, isn't it, with these deciding tie breaks that go to 10, winning by 2, compared to normal tie breaks first to 7, winning by 2. Just got to be a little more patient with all the shots.
Very much so. It's interesting just how both teams and the captains have just let the players go there, haven't they? I would have thought there might have been just a little bit of something given, but they decided just to lay out entirely and let them get on with it, figuring they know best. But you're right, these longer tiebreakers do allow some opportunities, some momentum shifts that you don't really get in the shorter version. All is not lost early on. Anything that the team captain that you're playing for can do, you know you've done something else. Wow, what a point from Aliassime. Heart in the mouth stuff as well when he came in on the forehand. Heart of a champion by the time he came out of the point.
That could change everything.
5-3.
It's usually his old faithful. It's been a little fickle today, that forehand of Berettini's, and once again it puts him in a hole.
Team wins. Let's proceed.
Entirely unexpected, was it?
5-all.
Seemed like he was chasing across there with all of them.
Yeah, and again, talk about the lack of a really solid topspin second serve for Ogialis, and those are the moments that hurts him.
Superb response.
6-5.
And that is something that he's done very well in recent times as well. Respond superbly to adversity.
So many opportunities in this match. He's had chances to seal the opening set when he served for it. Chances in the second set as well. And he found wanting in crucial service games, and yet he still keeps bouncing back. Dr. Feelgood there
7-5.
had well and truly left the building.
Team wins.
Done all the hard work.
Yeah, and actually it was dropping, wasn't it? I mean, it is easy to actually underhit those. Oh boy. The pressure of the Laver Cup.
What a bonus.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Aliassime. Macro can hardly believe it there.
Can I get a warm?
By the way, great effort to make him hit that extra ball, man.
Well, what's happened here for Aliassime? Obviously a long slide with his left foot, as you can see there, as he scraped it from inside.
Take your time, man.
Or it's just a new shoe.
Yeah, I think he changed his orthotics as well there. You can see the pink one behind his left foot there as well, taking that new one of those as well. But what a time for that to happen. 3 points away from victory. That shoe would surely be a little more tacky than the other shoe that he's been wearing. He has had problems in terms of his movement. Quite got his feel in terms of slipping and sliding around this very tacky and gritty court.
And what a match. This has proved to be the longest match in Laver Cup history right now. And by some distance, second longest now. And what was the longest was the Zverev Anderson contest back in 2018, 2 hours and 10 minutes. We're knocking on the door of 3 hours.
Still have the courage to come in there and make the volley this time.
7-6. Team World.
Let's see what Roger Aliassime made off here.
What a great dig from Berettini. I know we look at the outcome here and we're going to wonder whether he should have hit that shot. But I tell you what, that was a problem as it was in the air for him. Could he get there early enough to play it? Did he play the half volley? Berettini was moving forward. He was looking for the drop. It was a tough shot in the end.
Just wide.
Ladies and gentlemen, Team World is requesting the replay of the goal on the right
points for
corner.
Berettini since the change of ends. Since new shoes.
Yeah, and also again we talked about the second serve and the little moments in matches. The slider, Berettini made the move. It was slower. It was under 100 miles an hour, much slower than he's been hitting. Right in the slot for Berettini. A kicker there, and you find the weaker wing of Berettini. You're probably still odds on to win the point. Aliassime may be feeling as though he's a little nervous, but he's not the only one. That was a tentative point from Berettini as well. He desperately wants this for Team Europe. Another deep position here for Aliassime, looking to make the return. he did the first bit of the plan very well. He found the background of Berettini off the return, but he could not capitalize on it.
Matteo Berettini, match points, Team Europe. It's Matteo Berettini with the win for Team Europe by the narrowest of margins. But that will be a very bitter pill for Felix Auger-Aliassime and Team World to have to swallow. A match that surely they should have won. But it's Team Europe who sealed the deal and lead on the opening day now 2-0.